All right, welcome to Mastery Monday. It is July 27th, 2020. We're cruising along through this year, aren't we? Oh my goodness. So for those of you who are first time with me here today, I'll give a rundown of how Mastery Monday works. And then for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for your continued participation. And so how I work with Mastery Monday is I'll lead us in a short opening meditation, and then we will come into the frequencies of what I'm perceiving happening in this planet, in this universe right now, that are creating certain effects, which also is usually the reason of why I'm doing a specific topic of conversation. And then I'll go into the conversation that we're going to have today, which is energetic mastery and what am I saying? Sorry, I had to get that coughed up in my mouth. And spiritual maturation, which we're being called to do right now. So, and then after that, I'll just take questions and comments from you of whatever's coming through for you and what I'm saying, or other things that are going on for you that, at this time. And then we will do a short meditation activation based on the topic and the frequencies coming in right now. And then we'll go into any other comments on the meditation, and then I'll close it out with another short closing meditation. So here we go. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate your presence. It's nice to see everyone here. So, hi Sandra, thank you. That's great. All right. And anytime you wish, either on Facebook or on Zoom, that something's coming to your mind and you want to share it, please put it in chat or on comments on Facebook. I love the interaction. So, all right, let's begin with a short guided meditation. I just invite you to close your eyes. Let's be present into here with your body, taking a deep breath into this space, into this now of you, calling in all of you and your attention and awareness into this experience of being here with all of us, all together. It's opening into what's possible here for you, what's open for you to receive, for any deeper wisdom coming in, any points of transformation within your being. Deeply breathing into the whole body. Good. And breathing into the center of your head, golden light in the center of your head. So pinpointing our higher conscious centers of the brain, pineal gland. Breathing in this golden light. And then allowing this golden light to travel down into the center of your heart. Opening into the center of your heart. Down to the base of your spine. Allowing a golden channel of light through the whole center of your body. Staying centered within your body and allowing this golden light to spread through the whole body and out into the energy body. Just with your breath, just imagine your whole body being the light body that it is. This golden light through the body and through the energy body, radiating the light that you are. Good. And staying centered within your body, taking a deep breath of centering and focus within this space, allowing yourself to recognize all the others that are in this space together here, creating a unified field of experience, of support, of wisdom, of sharing. allowing our expansiveness to be even bigger and broader and brighter together, all together here. And may we share this space in protection and sacred divinity with all of our pure selves available to receive and to give. Thank you. And I'll be sharing now what we are going to be experiencing now in the field of the collective and what is coming. So very fascinating through the past couple weeks or so. I've been receiving a lot of energy from the Andromedan and Syrian energy fields, which I've been definitely experiencing a lot of the Andromedan. And so a lot of people are like, well, why do we, communicate with these other beings? And well, it's really a lot of us are just informed from those places, right? Living our lives, living our purpose, or we're here to serve, from those energies. And the Andromedans are really one of the key pieces in the crystalline grid, the crystalline network, the basically nervous system of information that travels through space, through all bodies of being, including the earth and ourselves. And so, because of all the shifts and changes, of course, they're going to be very present with bringing in the information, the frequencies, and all of that are here to support us in embodying the true natural state of the information and experiences that we are. And the Syrians, well, long in history of our planet, they've been a lot of the creator force on our planet, and a lot of mastery comes from both the Andromedans and the Syrians, and a lot of us are a mix of both. And so, they're just really showing me, and this is why we're going to be talking about energetic mastery and spiritual maturation today, that, as we know, we're going through these massive, profound changes on the planet, and we're coming up to a definite crossroads of choice, who we're going to be, and how we're going to move forward in making our choices to create this new world that's available for us to step into the possibility of this. And we're going to be going through some very challenging times. They're amping up everything happening, and it's going to continue to go that way for some time, and to try to create a certain way of being on this planet that is going to completely continue to dampen and hamper our sense of self. It's just like the dynamic of two forces coming together, right? It just happens. When things expand on one side, they're going to expand on the other. And so we have to maintain that center point of wisdom of both to unify, right? So that we're not tipping from one side to the other, right? Because right now is a time and place where how we're going to choose to go through our daily lives is going to affect how the collective moves forward with the way the world is going to shape. And I think we all, those of us that are here, probably have that wisdom and knowledge. And so how do we do that? And that's the key. It's how do we do that? How do we go through these transitions? And the spiritual maturation and energetic mastery that we're being called to is just the deeper self-awareness of choice, of self-responsibility. Right? So are we going to go along with these pieces that are wanting to continue to degrade our way of life, our quality of life, our way of being, our possibility of connection, our possibility of health and longevity, right? Or are we going to go, wait, what's my responsibility on this planet right now? Is it to say, okay, I see all those things happening and I don't need to participate. How can I participate on this planet in a way that's going to lead to the more balanced way of living, the more balanced, harmonious way of being in our bodies? And of course, each of us has different things that we have to traverse, right? Not all of us, like myself, because of who I am and what I came here to do, I chose at a young age that I wasn't going to get into the world system as it is, right? I think the last time I worked a 9-to-5 job was when I was 19, right? I chose to be in a different system already for the last 20 something years because I knew that wasn't a part of me, a part of my rhythm, a part of my space. But there's many, 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 many more people than not in a space of like, wow, how is this going to affect me when I have a job, I have a family, and I have a family too, you know, and all of these things. And it's that strength, it's that courage, it's that inner wisdom. It's getting so self-aware of who we are that we don't let that friction of choice create fear for us not to step into our true selves. And so the energetic mastery comes into, what choice can I make today? How can I decide today what is going to be best for me? So it may not be, okay, all of a sudden I'm just going to quit my job or I'm going to do this or that. It's incremental, right? It's not saying, okay, I have to do it all right now. It's got to be all right now. The universe is expansive. The universe is infinite, right? We have the time. We have the space. It's just every day, the dedication. Like if any of you have received the free gift that I have, that I've had out there for some time is, you know, the 3 keys to being an awakened soul. And the first one is dedication. That dedication to self. Every day, the dedication to self. And with each day of that dedication to self, hello, hi Grace, is being in that space of responsibility, incrementally, self-aware, more self-aware, more self-aware, more self-aware each day, that each choice that we make is grounded in the foundation of our current awareness. And not having that pressure of like, oh my gosh, I have to have it all right now. I have to be fully soul embodied. I have to have all my truth and inner wisdom in action, on board right now. It's like, okay, wait, let's take that pressure off of ourselves and at the same time, create that such a depth of inner focus and concentration, right? That we're willing to open into new areas and new opportunities to be self-aware that it's going to guide each of our choices, right? So with that maturation, so it's like we go through these stages of development where we're wanting to understand. So we start researching, right? We start going, okay, what's this? What's that? How does this work? How does this function? You know, we kind of can become information junkies, you know, in the spiritual world, you know, the sacred world of whatever it is we want to know, right? It's alchemy or star seeds or, you know, our whatever it is. And then we go into that intuitive sense. Once we start dedicating ourselves more, it starts to become more intuitive, right? That wheel starts to turn inside of us to open us up, go, oh, wait, this is what this is what's true for me. I'm gonna explore that. I'm gonna open up to that. You know, and then we come into more of our inner wisdom, that inner guidance, or we receive information from, you know, higher guides or however it develops for us. And then through the practice of following that inner wisdom and guidance and opening up more and more to ourselves, right? It's not anything above us or outside of us. It's to ourselves, because a lot of times even our guides are aspects of ourselves. It's nothing separate. It's never separate. And then from that place, we come into more of an embodiment. It's an active exchange. Instead of thinking it's something that we're seeking outside of us, that we're working towards, it's just this active, creative, enlivening energy that's in constant action, bringing us closer and deeper into ourselves. And so that energetic mastery is coming into that flow, right? That magnetic flow that is increasingly showing us in each moment who we are and the direction to move in. And being in that still neutral place. And that's, we talked about this in one of our last Mastery Monday conversations, is stillness is so key. The key of being is this dedication and being in stillness and trusting ourselves. And so coming into this stillness is where we get to observe ourselves in this neutral space and letting ourselves traverse all of our feelings and emotions and thoughts and experiences without letting them take hold. And that's when we also start to observe the rest of the world, right, from this neutral space, to where we're not letting what's happening in the world hook into us and create a way of being or ideas or experiences or beliefs. And so the spiritual maturation that we're asking to come into is not getting in the way. Basically, if you want to put it in a nutshell, it's not getting in the way of ourselves, or not getting in the way of what's coming through. So if you want to put it in practical matter of like, okay, well, I'm feeling that the best thing for me to do would to be switch jobs or create something else for myself, but I'm scared because of the security, the fear of needing the support, the financial support, whatever it is. And then going, okay, wait, but I'm going to trust, because my inner wisdom is guiding me, that I have everything I need to create this shift. And so I'm going to sit with that. Instead of seeing it as something outside of me, of an action that I have to do, I'm going to sit with it inside of me saying, okay, well, what does that look like? What does a job change look like? Or what does a relationship change look like? Or what does being soul embodied look like for me? What does it feel like? And we create an inner experience. We create an inner world of it so that we get to view it and feel it and let it start to play and move and create the energy and the frequency within us to show us the way. Right? And so we let go of ideas and the fear, and just it becomes like we were talking about before in navigating inner transformation, was another conversation we had, where we get to see it as something to explore and discover. Instead of, because I notice this thing, what happens for us is we have these thoughts, we have this guidance, and then it becomes this thing, right? And we kind of almost place it outside of ourselves. Like, okay, there's that thing that I have to do, or I'm being called to do, and I'm just going to like put it over there, instead of welcoming it in, like really welcoming it in, so that as we welcome it in, it can develop on its own. And then we sync with it and we move with it. And that's the energetic mastery and the spiritual maturation that's happening right now, is allowing all of these things to be a part of us, not something that we're like compartmentalizing and having and wanting to put any information or feelings or experiences onto, right, that are creating a disconnect. So creating this unity of experience within ourselves, so it drives the momentum, and the magnetism drives us. And then it's almost like we can just sit back and relax a little bit and say, okay, well, I've welcomed it in. I'm going to let it take its shape and form within me. I'm going to dedicate myself to, hey, say you're willing to shift whatever it is you're being guided to shift, or you know that needs to be shifted. I'm going to dedicate myself to that, and welcome it in, and just let it take shape and form. And then as you get the input, the information to take action, you apply it, right? And whenever you're feeling that resistance or tension, or like, oh boy, I'm not ready for that, or I don't feel this, or I'm scared, or whatever, you go, okay, I'm acknowledging those feelings. And that's a part of the process of letting everything that comes up to be a part of the process, a part of the experience, and not something that we have to like, shift and move and, kind of like think that we have to shove it out of our field. No, it's going, okay, that embrace of everything is the spiritual maturation that we're coming into right now, so that we can flow with it with more ease and awareness, right? And it may not be completely easeful, right? Like, I know that, I have things come up in my life too that are like, oh boy, here we go. But it's just like, okay, it's happening. It's happening. I used to be full of resistance and full of judgment and full of like fear. And now it's like, okay, it's happening. I'm going to have my, you know, feelings about it and my thoughts about it. I'm going to let it be. But at the same time, I see that it's happening. What I want to do is get into it. I want to get into it because whatever it is, it's showing up for some reason for my life to shift. And so as we're getting into this awareness, what helps us do is it builds that capacity of strength in our field to receive. It builds that capacity to have more awareness and connection, not just with ourselves, but with the collective and others. It opens up communication. It opens up the energy channels of the body. It just creates a space that can move, can become a creator, can know that we are here doing this. It's just it's very subtle, yet becomes very tangible the more we come embodied. But the more that we're willing to, and that embodiment, as I'm speaking of, is that embrace of all our experiences and all that is. That's the embodiment. So I'm really curious of anything that's coming up for anybody. If you want to put it up in chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and come on and speak, or Facebook, please put your comments. Just really curious of what's showing up for each of you as I'm sharing this. And so, you know, to give a little bit of background, you know, it's interesting for me that what I'm seeing, you know, and I said this before, is that, you know, the energies, we're getting opened up into the fields beyond the central sun. Like, we have this idea that central sun is like where everything comes from. It's like, no, actually the central sun is fed by a whole nother source outside. And that's becoming more and more known and tangible to us too. And what's happening right now, as we're kind of going through this, you know, expansive contraction, it's almost like we're going through this expansion, and all these energies that don't want us to expand are trying to contract us, right? So we're kind of like going like this right now. And so for us to stay in that centered still point, that can keep happening. But that energetic mastery is going, okay, I'm not gonna be going like this with it, right? I'm just gonna stay right here. I'm gonna stay right here and see how it's affecting me and move with it. Because I'm seeing these energies just like pull us to these frequencies that are so intense, right? And so high. And our mind and our bodies and our frequencies are trying to adapt and go with it, while we're feeling these energies wanting to pull us back, you know, into this denser reality because of, you know, how they're playing things on this planet right now, which is a catalyst. Right? It's like we can see it as a catalyst rather than something that wants to put us into shutdown or contraction or fear, right? Use it as a catalyst, going, okay, well, what is this for me? And how do I want to live my life? The eye of the storm. Yes, Julie. Be the eye of the storm. Be that center still point. Let it spin around you. And because what I'm seeing, and this is not a place to like put fear or to put any sort of you know, heightened energy on anything that's to come. But I'm seeing such an intense blast of energy coming our way that it's just going to be off the charts from whatever we've experienced up to this point. And even I'm seeing, it's like I was shown, like even the adepts are going to have a hard time holding their space, right? Even the people who have been practicing this for like lifetimes, right? So this is the point where we get to really just go, okay, I'm going to hone in. I am going to hone in and laser focus into my being right now, because this is what we're being called to do. Yes, Blair, realizing the need to let go of my story and old patterns and conditioning. Absolutely. That's what this whole part is about, because it is time. It's like, don't hang on to your hats. Like, let them go. Just go with the energy. So oh yeah, Megan, should we stock up on essentials? I think a little stocking up is definitely a good idea, you know, because like for me, I'm going to be honest, I'm not one to be like, I've always been kind of a rebel, but I've also kind of seen through the veil of what's happening. And I'm not one to go, oh yeah, I'm going to sign up for all your mass crap, I'm going to sign up for all of this. You know, I'm going to hold my space, but I'm also not going to go to the store very often, right? So I've stocked up a little bit so that I can just be in my own space. I can be in my own reality and just let that stuff work itself out while I'm holding the space for it to work out, right? Because a lot of this, I won't get into it too much, but a lot of this is really unlawful, and I'm not on board with it. Okay. So anyways, I won't go into all that. But so yeah, I think being stocked up on essentials is a good idea, because I heard this message and I'm still transfiguring it. So I don't want to put any idea, but I'm hearing that the matrix is going to be unplugged. And it's happening from both ends though. See, it's not something that's like this crazy thing of like, oh boy, but there are some definite shifts and changes going to be happening within the current structures as is on this planet, right? I.e. government, business, whatever, that are going to go through some massive changes that are not necessarily in line with what we have set up for ourselves as what we thought is the trajectory of our life, right? On this planet as systems that be. And then we're being unplugged because of the frequency shifts. So which portion of the unplugged do you want to go with, right? The new systems, the new paradigm that they're trying to create on this planet, or the new systems and paradigms that we as our natural beings want to create on this planet? Where are we going to unplug ourselves, and where are we going to plug into? That's the energy mastery and spiritual maturation that's really coming through right now. And when I say spiritual maturation, I'm saying being soul embodied and in our natural state of being, so that we're making the choices that are in balance with ourselves, in balance with nature. Out of fear, not from fear, but from that space of knowing. From that space of knowing what's true. So I appreciate, all the questions, because it's a fascinating time. It's a fascinating time, and it's one that I realize now that, my whole life has geared me up to, with all the experiences I've had. It's like, if I have to, I can live in the woods. I've lived in the woods with nothing before, so I'm okay, right? But most people aren't, right? Most people are like, whoa, boy, how am I going to survive? How am I going to survive? And that's okay. We're here to support each other in this. And that's what it's about. It's coming into, okay, I am going to connect with the people that I know I can connect with, so that we can create a supportive unit together. So anyone, more questions, more comments? I want to hear. I want to know what's going on in your heads. No matter if you agree with me or not, I want to hear it, because it creates good conversation. And it's not about agreeing. It's about just having a powerful discourse, so that we can all come to some more knowledge and wisdom of ourselves, of this world, this reality. So yeah. Just wanted to see if anyone wants to pop on, vocal, hear your voice, talk to us, share with us what's going on for you. Thank you everyone for showing up. I appreciate it.
Hey, Kristen. This is
Hi.
Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
I'm understanding what you're saying, that we need to stay in the neutral space and not react.
Mm-hmm.
But then when things happen, so I find myself going back and forth, where I can be neutral for a while, and then something will happen and it will really trigger me, and I'll get very upset, and I'll want to take action, but I feel like I don't know what type of action to take. And then I try to bring myself back into center and stay focused on being neutral and not getting involved in one way or the other. But when we see these things that are happening and we know that we want to speak up, how do you suggest that we go about that with still staying in that neutral space?
Yeah, and that's the energetic mastery, right? Is just kind of going, okay, I'm not neutral all the time. I will be very clear. Like as I'm going through these transitions, I'm finding a lot more space to create that neutrality, right? And so that's the point that we get to. That's the mastery that we're coming into, is saying, okay, I realized I got out of neutral and I went into reaction. Let's figure out where this reaction is coming from. Is it a fear? Is it an old idea? Is it a program? What is it? Where is it coming from?
Normally, for me, it's a feeling of like I have absolutely no control. Like I feel
Yeah.
extremely helpless, and I want my voice to be heard. It's almost like I feel my throat chakra is being shut down, and I don't have a platform to voice. And even if I were to voice, I'm maybe there's a bit of fearfulness in it that I'm going to be completely attacked and criticized, and that piece of it. But it's this willingness to want to step up and speak up, but then it's kind of an internal battle of not knowing how, but feeling as if I'm not supposed to, or I'm supposed to stay neutral. It's just this conflict of not really understanding or knowing and feeling very helpless.
Sure. Thank you for asking and sharing that. Yeah, it's so I guess what I'm hearing is that you're having this experience where, you're feeling like you can't express what you're feeling, that you should go into neutral, and you're not sure where to help out and where not to, and what direction to go in from that. So it sounds like to me, that inner place there's a place inside of you that already has an issue with expression, right? And being strong and capable of your self-expression. So just looking at that as a point of inner transformation to do for yourself, that's translating into these experiences, because it's such a hampering of energy right now on us. So then once we do this inner transformation work of shifting that dynamic and program within ourselves, then what can happen for you is, once we get into that neutral space, it's not that in a neutral space we don't act. In a neutral space, we have the most power to act with, the most power to act from. And so in that space of neutrality, then you go, okay, I'm feeling like I can't speak. What is it that I want to express? What is it that I really, truly want to express? What is it truly that I want to create? What is it truly that I want to really be in this moment? And, as you've done that inner transformation to shift out the idea of being criticized or, shut down, then we can go, okay, well then what is aligned for me? What's the most highest aligned action that I can take from this space that allows my expression to happen? And that's the energetic mastery and the spiritual maturation is going, the only thing that I really am interested in right now is what's aligned for my highest soul expression. And to get in line with that, then we have to do that inner transformation on those pieces that are coming up for you, and then choose, and then go inside and really sit with it. Like I said, embracing that experience and bringing it in and saying, okay, I feel like I want to take action. I really feel like I want to take action right now. What is it that is truly aligned for me to take action on? And let me step into that and let my power and attention build that and grow that, right? So that's the part of the energetic mastery first, of doing our inner transformation and recognizing the reaction, recognizing that space of neutrality. And then the spiritual maturation is going, okay, I'm going to go into soul alignment, and I'm really just going to act and be from that space. So it's just this beautiful combination of things. So as I say that, what comes up for you?
Wow. I love I've never heard this before, but I mean, you said that in a neutral space, we have the most power to act. And, I've always thought that neutrality just means that we hold the space to be in an allowance, right? Versus being in a space to act, because to me, action seems like you're taking one side or the other. Whereas you're saying that we actually are taking a side, which is to be in alignment with our highest soul expression. So within that neutrality, we are acting in alignment with that soul expression.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. Well taken in. Yes. Yes. Neutrality is like the, thank you, JB. Let go of the what ifs which inhibit you. Absolutely. in the neutral space, if you think about it, in neutrality resides everything. It's like that whole place, that paradox of nothing and everything at the same time. And in neutrality is the power of everything. And when we become neutral, we have access to everything, right? It expands our awareness to everything that exists on both sides. And so when we're in that neutral space, we can gather all the information that we need from a space of non-judgment, right? That space where we're not in judgment or duality. Wow. And we're just receiving the essence, right? We're receiving the essence of what we are and what needs to be done through us and who we are and what the actions are.
This is such a beautiful explanation of neutrality. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
Shine so much more light on it, and just comes from such a different space of understanding. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And so I just invite you, thank you coming on, Teresa, and sharing that and allowing everyone else to receive and come into this space as well. So I just invite you to, do whatever tools or practices work for you, or something I can assist you with, to come into that space of shifting those programs in you that are about the expression and communication and criticism and holding back. So those are key pieces that seem to be, the old programs that need to be shifted. Yes, Rita. Rita's thanking you as well to help you better understand neutrality. Yeah, good, beautiful. I love the shares. It always helps everyone. Yeah. So anybody else feel like commenting or sharing? If not, we'll go into a meditation around this. Excuse me. Yeah. Mark has a question. Yeah, please, if you want to unmute yourself, come on and ask, or put it in chat, however you want to do it. So glad you're here, Mark.
Hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing really well. It's nice to hear your voice.
If one of the universal laws is empathy, and this is kind of an expansion of Teresa's question, because it was kind of the way I've been feeling, but if one of the universal laws is empathy, and I know that we also need to take into account everybody's perspective from a unity kind of viewpoint, but if one of the universal laws is empathy, and we don't feel like that's being kind of projected out from a group of people, and we feel kind of we feel against it.
Yeah.
If it's in our kind of DNA, so to speak, to speak out against like the apathy of some people, like, is that okay? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, granted, you've taken account perspective of people, but if the universal law is empathy and you don't feel like that's being practiced, and it's kind of in your DNA to practice that, how do you speak out against that, or do you even have to? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's more.
So do you have to what?
Like Teresa was saying, like, sometimes you get very, like, you want to speak out against what people are saying, and you can only hold that neutrality for so long before you're like, I feel like if I don't say something or act on something, this course of action will just continue to happen. This course of, like, apathy will continue to happen. Granted, you're not gonna change anybody's mind by, arguing verbally, that's for sure, but
yeah.
What can you do to kind of change? I guess we can. Maybe I'm answering my own question, but I guess we can only.
Well, yeah, I do. I'm feeling everything that you're saying, and so
kind of the anger that comes out of the fact that there is that apathy that exists in people. Granted, everybody's on their own path in terms of, like, figuring it out. I understand that, but how do you deal with the anger in the meantime?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, because I've definitely been through that, my own anger of certain experiences. And so I appreciate you bringing this in, because, our emotions can fuel our passion, right? And fuel our dedication. So it's almost like when we have that anger,
Yeah.
it's going, okay, well, how can I funnel this in a way that's not destructive, so that I can create my own space of how I'd like my own space to be, while receiving and being in what's happening out in the world, right? When we see people doing things that are just like, we just are like, it can be enraging sometimes, or it can be frustrating, or it can be sad, or whatever emotions that are coming up for us. It's going, okay, well, what do I want to do with these? And how are these emotions, holding these emotions and having these emotions, going to serve me, right? I'm going to acknowledge them, and I'm going to be with them. And then how do I funnel them? And for me, like, the guidance that I give is go, okay, well, if there's an action that you feel like you can take that is creative or neutral or balanced and in alignment with your soul, that you can funnel your passion into, right? And, or maybe find some way to funnel that energy, right? If it's like for you, playing music or writing a song or creating a piece of art, going, okay, I'm going to put my expression into this because it needs to flow somewhere.
Right. Okay.
Right. I don't want to hold it inside of my body because of that. And if we think about empath, the word empath, right? We're like passionate. We're ready. We're eager. We're ready to go. Like, if you look up the definition of EM, the prefix of these words, it's really this driven force within us to be on our path, right? That we're taking it in. And so as an empath, it's not about this whole idea of we have to take everything in and everything on, like, we feel these things, and it's a natural part of us to experience what's happening in the collective, since we are all connected. And at the same time, let that fuel drive you to be the empath, to be passionate about your path and taking on your path, and funnel it all into that, because that's the beauty of what's happening right now, right? Is not getting stuck or whatever. It's kind of going, okay, I'm going to put all of my energy and attention onto my path right now, because that's what's going to drive the collective forward and is going to shift the frequency. And whoever's in apathy, whoever isn't going to go along with it, well, you want to know what? We just have to let that be what it is. That's that space of neutrality.
Okay.
And when we have our emotions around it, going, okay, I got to funnel these. Like if I have to scream at the top of my lungs right now, I'm going to, right? Just to let it out. And I do that sometimes. It's really fun because my son joins me and he gets out where he is, and it's just a part of the process. Let ourselves feel it and let it move through us, but then let the action take a course that is aligned with our soul.
Yeah, I think I subscribe to that for the most part, but obviously I've been dealing with a little bit, just kind of, it's just kind of hard to believe, like, what you're hearing sometimes. Like, but, I don't know.
Yeah. And it's finding a way to, one thing that I've had to come to, because even since I was young, I've had people tell me, you're too opinionated or whatever. And it was like, because I was so passionate about things. I was passionate about the environment. I was passionate about life. I was just passionate. And people are just like, it's too much. But you want to know what? That's their problem.
Right.
Not mine. I can express myself. And if they can't handle the intensity, well, you want to know what? Maybe they're not my people. Because I've been around people that are intense and passionate, and I think that energy just like builds up, and it's just like, okay. And so what I've had to do, what I have chosen to, not had to do, but chosen to do, is find ways to communicate what's coming through me to people or the world or whatever it is in a way that feels more embodied to me. Right? Because sometimes we do get emotional, and sometimes you can preface, like sometimes I'll do this. I'll preface to somebody, I'll be like, I'm feeling a lot of intense emotion right now around this topic of conversation, and the words I speak right now may seem really intense and but really ultimately has nothing to do with you. It's just how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And I am just going to speak it And if they're like, whoa, you're gonna be like, but at least there, you know, that there can be some function of distancing from them, that they don't have to take it personally, because you've given yourself permission, and you've let them know that you're giving yourself permission to just express what's going on with you, and really has nothing to do with them.
Yeah. But we're in a time right now where, like, you know, like the energy is kind of it's an opposing energy where people feel like they have to do something radical in order to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, the radical part.
if
Yeah.
you voice your opinion, it's good to express yourself. But like, if you want action to be taken as a result of it, and it's not, then how, you know what I'm saying? That's where the anger comes in. Like,
Right.
what can I possibly do for you to hear me? Like,
Well,
at what
yeah.
point are you going to understand and be empathetic towards something? You know
Well,
what I'm
is it your responsibility for them to understand?
saying? But
Is it your responsibility for them to understand? That's where we get to take in that spiritual maturation too. Is it our responsibility to speak what we speak and then let it take its course?
sure.
Because we're, like I was saying in the beginning, is like there's this intense shift and change happening, and at the same time, what's driving you to feel like you have to change somebody else? There's a part that's going on right now that's not balanced, right?
Mhm.
That's coming from an imbalance,
Well,
and we kind of have to move with that. So Megan's asking for a specific example.
I mean, there's a couple.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a couple things going on in the world right now. Now, here's the thing, like with the COVID thing, you know,
Yeah.
like it's a very simple remedy. Like you could show empathy, even if you don't know what's going on. You could show empathy and do the things that you need to do to protect others. Okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you could have your own choice, but the problem is that your choice is hurting people, and it's evident that it will be if you're not at least doing. I'm not either way on the thing. Like, I feel like I'm right in the middle. Like, I'm doing the things I need to do to protect myself and others, but I'm also trying to live my life. So I'm not living in fear, but I'm not, you know, I'm not passive about it and just being like, oh, whatever, it is what it is. But the problem is, and the same thing goes with like the obviously the riots that are happening now. When you have such polar viewpoints where, you know, like this is an issue where people are getting hurt, where people are, you know what I'm saying, in both cases. And like, it's not a black and white situation. It's really rooted in empathy. That's all it is, which is one of the universal laws, I believe. And like, you know, it's just hard to watch that. Like, it'd be one thing if you would express yourself and you have an opinion, but to watch as people get hurt as a result of yours, and you're feeling so against that, you're like, this shouldn't be happening. This doesn't need to be happening. This isn't a difference in opinion. Like, if like, we're not talking about sports teams.
Well,
like,
so let's reel back for a second here, because this is where we get into the idea of what is happening, what should be happening, what shouldn't be happening, right? How do we know from like this? I know people getting hurt it's not fun to like see people getting hurt, and for people making radical choices that are creating people, you know, creating harm for people, if it's from the government or if it's somebody that decides to throw a rock and start a riot, whatever it is, right? So it's really holding our space and saying, okay, let's have our emotions about it, but there's no, what I'm hearing, just to say this, it's not your responsibility to convince anybody of anything, one, and two, have your feelings, but let's not judge the situation as right or wrong, because that's going to create polarity within yourself, and it's going to create that you're creating a lot of inner tension for yourself. It's like, well, so let's not be passive, but still channel that energy in a way that's going to be best for you.
I understand that, and I try, but like, I think there are some absolute truths in the universe, and like I said, I believe empathy is one of them. So when you see that not being practiced and it being rationalized, I can't jive with that. Like, I'm not, like, we're not we're not under political law. We're human beings that reside in the universal law.
Yeah.
And so therefore, you can't talk about my rights or this right. Like in the
Right.
reality of things, that doesn't even exist. I mean, like, you
No,
know,
right. Yeah, it's all false premise anyways, all the rights idea. Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
guess you could say I'm judging to a degree, but what I'm saying is the core of it is it's not so much a judgment, but kind of a massive dissonance or discord with the fact that
Right.
people can't get on board with helping others.
Yeah.
Look, if this is a situation about some political idea, or if it's something about something else, fine. We can agree to disagree, but a lot of the stuff isn't a quote agree to disagree situation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And this is what's happening in the unit. This is what's happening. This is the shift that's taking place. So if you want to keep holding your space and aligning yourself with that universal, with the universal laws and the universal principles, then you're doing a great service, right? We're going to have to let a lot of this stuff flush itself out, and we want to do something about it, right?
Yeah.
But we have to also understand that underneath all of those things happening still resides this foundation, these universal principles and empathy.
Right.
Right. And
yeah.
yeah.
And I know I can't convince anybody of anything, and I don't try, but you know, I like Teresa was saying, like, you really feel like you want at least your voice to be heard. Like, because and it does come, it maybe comes across as anger, but it's not really anger as much as it is frustration.
Right. Frustration and passion for what you know is true.
Yeah.
Right. And let your passion fuel that. And do the best you can. Like, be frustrated. Sometimes I get frustrated too, but it's really interesting. It's not it used to affect me that way, but now that I'm in the space of kind of just holding the space for what I see is possible, all my intention and focus is going into that.
Okay.
So it's relieving me of a lot of the frustration because I'm holding the space for what is true. Okay. I'm holding the space for what is possible beyond this. And we're going to have to let this stuff take its course. But the most of us that are able to hold this space within the collective for what is true, we're the pillars. We're the pillars that are surrounding and keeping this foundational universal principles just in its place, in its strength. And if we can keep holding that space as these pillars, then what else can stand? You know, it's like I'm having this vision of us like standing around the earth is like these pillars holding this space for all of this that's just working itself out, you know, this thing happening and that thing happening. But inside of everybody, these universal principle foundations exist. So if we can hold the space for that, guess what? If more and more and more of us hold the space for that, guess what? That is what is going to be holding the space and attracting and magnetizing that within people. Right. So it becomes, exactly, Bonnie, that's exactly what I was visualizing as Roman or Greek columns. I was just seeing these like white pillars with I don't know what era or what I could call them, but the type of pillar that they are. But it's just like, that's this energetic mastery and spiritual maturation that we're being called to, is hold the space. Hold the space.
Okay. Yeah.
And in that holding of space, let yourself have your emotions, let yourself have your expression, let yourself have that without deviating or polarizing yourself, right?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I'm trying to kind of hold that to myself. I'm not trying to be destructive with it, that's for sure.
Right.
Sometimes I voice my opinion and make someone mad, but but I guess that is what it is. So.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. No, I appreciate it because I know you feel so deeply. You know, I know you feel so deeply, and as someone who feels so deeply as well, it's just like, let those feelings, you know, be expressed within you without going polar or duality, because it's like, wow, for me, I've just kind of gotten to that place where I don't want to create that tension and polarity inside myself anymore because it doesn't feel good to me. Right. And then that's what I'm radiating out. Yeah. What do we really want to be radiating out? Right? Okay, I'm going to go in through my emotion and then I'm going to shift, right? I'm going to go through my emotion and then I'm going to come back into here, right? And then it just becomes easier. It just becomes like this little ride, like, okay. But the foundation and the essence becomes the truth, right? And empathy, it's just kind of interesting, all the definitions and experiences that people have placed on empathy, because as an empath, we don't have to, it's not for us to get so entangled in it. We're already, entangled because of the collective, but we don't have to get our emotions and everything so entangled in it. That's the energetic mastery, right? That's becoming mature enough to say, I am on my path. And guess what? All of this is on my path too. So how am I going to be with it? How am I going to be with it? And that's the pinpoint of choice that we're on right now. Are we going to stay in the emotional field, or are we going to stay in that neutral aligned action field? As much as possible, right? And just let ourselves be. Just let ourselves be in the rhythm of what we're feeling, yet knowing that all of this is on the path. Why? Why do we know it's on the path? Because it's happening. Because it's happening. And if we can't control it, there's no control. It's going, okay, the only thing I can control is me, my choice, my point of focus. And my choice and my point of focus, if it's aligned with my soul, guess what? Then like people like you and me and everyone else that's on the call, we get that point of focus. Guess what we create? We create this geometry of strength for that point of focus. Let's do that. Let's do that together. Yeah. Sorry, I've just got tears in my eyes. Like, that's what I'm feeling passionate about. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Patrice. I really appreciate this, because it's deep. It's deep. It's calling up the deepest parts of ourselves to the surface. I mean, it's rich. It's so rich and it's so abundant. It may feel limited because of what's happening in our exterior environment, but feel that richness, feel that depth, feel that abundance of energy we have access to right now through this, that we can channel our focus and intention and reality into. It's powerful. It's powerful. Yeah. Whew. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Good work, everyone. Thank you. So, all right, let's take all this energy that's up right now and channel it into our meditation, okay? And funnel it into a deep space of soul connection, neutrality, aligned energy here, and a process to channel this this way of being into. So yeah, so let's welcome you into the energetic mastery and spiritual maturation meditation. So invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath and just really feel what's up right now in you. Like, what energy is the dominant energy that's flowing through you right now. And really just breathe into that energy and let it just flow. And also be in the dominant energy that's in you right now. Just see if there's anything that wants to be known with it. Just breathing into yourself, breathing into your body. And as you're just bringing your attention and awareness to the dominant feeling, energy, also bring your attention to the center of your body. Breathing this golden light into the center of your head, where our consciousness, our mind, the higher access to all that we are. The intelligence. And then bringing this energy, this golden light energy, into the heart, our higher heart space of our pure wisdom, our pure inner knowing. Breathing this energy into the base of our spine, our pure source energy to ourselves, to this earth, to our life, our creative capacity. Bringing this whole light into the center channel of our bodies, connecting our source life with this planet, with our bodies, through and up into higher wisdom, inner knowing, and into the center of our higher consciousness, the intelligence of our consciousness. And then bringing this golden light up through the top of our head and out into the soul consciousness of ourselves, all that we are. While still firmly feeling your body, let this light go even higher up into the soul consciousness of all that we are as a collective. As a collective of everything that is in this time-space continuum of experience. And staying within the field of all that is coming into, I'm going to choose any point in the center of your body, whether it's the center of your head or the center of your heart, to just focus on to at this time. Keeping that attention in rooms also above into the collective and below into the center channel grounded space of your body. To come into full awareness of all that you are, your full life force flowing through the body. I'm just asking in this body right now, into this space, into this energy, what is the next aligned thing that I need to know about my energetic mastery, about the maturity of my soul self? What is it that I need to know that needs to be transformed or balanced or just come to my attention? What is the next level available for me here in this awareness? And with this, just breathing in the information or the sensation or the feeling or the willingness to open into this. If you didn't receive anything specific, just notice any changes in your body, or just notice any awareness that showed up in your body, any tension that showed up, tingling, or any vision, anything that you heard, just any way that you're receiving right now. And if you feel like you're not receiving, just knowing that you have opened the door to letting this reception become known to you, this information become known to you. Just breathing it in, whatever it is that you receive, just breathing with it. If it's information, just letting it be in the body, letting it be in the mind. If it was a feeling, just breathing into the feeling. If it was something you heard or saw, so letting yourself be with it. And allowing yourself to come into a neutral space where you have the space of non-judgment, no ideas, no beliefs, just allowing yourself to come into this centered space where you can suspend yourself, intending all levels of your being to be neutral, to come into full access of all that you are and power of all that you are. Space of neutrality, just breathing into any parts of your body that you're feeling need some attention right now around this, around anything that has occurred today, in your life, in any conversation that has to do with becoming more aware and centered and grounded within your neutral space, and mastering your energy, your focus, your intention, your thoughts, your emotions. Letting all the fields of your being come into this gentle, neutral, strong place. And allowing this to anchor into all the parts and cells of your body. Knowing that this is the place of your empowerment to choose to connect in with from this neutral space, your soul, your alignment and dedication to all that is true for you, to hold in this space, to be, to become. And that within this neutral space, you can be the empath for yourself to help you work in through the emotions and thoughts and feelings you're having. This is the place to come into, to channel and move through the passion, the emotions, the expression. So that you can come into the mastery and maturation of channeling your energy. The soul-aligned self from this pure, powerful, wise space. Empath, embrace, being in the passion of being in the experience, fully in full awareness. Bring it all into this space right now. And sending healing and light to any parts of your body, any parts of your field that are showing up that need transformation around this. So just asking your field, show me any place within me that is needing more balance or transformation to be able to come into this space more fully, more wholly, more completely. What wants to show up for you? And breathing this light, just allowing this light to transform anything that you wish to shift, to create more balance and harmony with you and your own being, which will translate into more balance and harmony in the collective. This is the power that we have. This is the power that we are. Breathing this through the body, the energy body. And calling in all of your soul alignment, your soul wisdom to fill in all the spaces in which the balance and transformation is taking place. So that all the cells of your body are receiving your soul alignment, your soul wisdom. An upgrade to this system. And to breathe in another level of dedication to yourself. And knowing that as you dedicate more to knowing yourself, becoming more aware of yourself and how to move with this energies that come through you, whether it's your soul-aligned energies or emotions or thoughts, that you dedicate yourself more deeply with your awareness so that you come into the aligned feelings and actions to channel into this world. Through this powerful, constructive place, this knowing place. That each and everything that happens has information. Each and every action that you have allows you to come into more of a congruent space of choice, of knowing, of attention, of focus. And this is what will truly support you and the collective as well. Just breathing this in. Breathing this in deeply. Just calling in all the parts of yourself in this moment to come into this space for full congruence of your being. And anything that you're feeling challenged by, just enveloping it in this energy. Enveloping it in this energy. Give yourself some space of gentleness and self-care. Okay. And then let's, as a collective energy, send this out into the world, into the center of the earth, to radiate out and through all the channels of the earth. This centered, grounded, brilliant light of support for all that is balanced and in harmony and coherent with all that is true for our natural way of being as humans, as creatures on this planet, for everything that's in this planet. Sending this space of coherence and balance. To mastering the energy of that which is true and soul aligned for each and every one of us and this planet itself, and everything that resides on this planet. Bring your attention back into the center of your body. Just noticing how you feel now compared to the beginning. Just noticing if you've been able to shift into a more neutral, coherent, balanced space for yourself. And if so, just intend to move through the day and anchoring this into every cell of your body. This feeling, this experience, this memory, to pull yourself, to magnetize yourself into whenever you're feeling in another way of being that is out of this alignment with yourself, which is okay. Just giving yourself space to move through each of these oscillations of experience to strengthen more and more this field of awareness, neutrality, and flow of your most powerful energy into your chosen focus and intention and mastery of self. And flow this energy out as what is a light going through the rest of your day, the rest of your week, the rest of your month, the rest of your year and beyond. And also into the past, to release anything from the past out of this energy to heal, transform, and move through. And coming into the center of your body again. And if you wish to, sending an intention for yourself grounded within this space, for you choose to be, how you're going to be from this space forward. Good. Good. Thank you so much for being in this space with me and through this conversation. Appreciate it. And grounding this into the body, into the space, into yourself. And then if anyone wants to comment on what came through for you in the meditation, that would be fine. You can do it in comments on Facebook or in chat. And then we'll go into just a short closing meditation. And sometimes I know after these meditations, we're really just in our own space. Teresa, yes, so beautiful. Trust was the word that came through for me. Nice. Yeah, good. Trusting self, trusting the collective, the field. Good, thank you. Message, Julie, the message to breathe and move with the heart mind instead of the head mind. Yes, please do. Much love and gratitude. Much love and gratitude to you, Judy. Thank you. Or Julie, thank you. Yeah, wonderful. Good. All right. We will move through this into a closing meditation now. So let's just take a moment to really feel ourselves. Giving gratitude for ourselves for showing up and being here to receive support, to give support, to share in this collective experience, what's going on in this field right now, our internal field and our external field. Give gratitude for everyone showing up today and creating this collective field. And that we may continue on with our individual soul-aligned brilliance as well as the collective brilliance, and trusting that we will all come into the coherent field that is available, that is possible for us as we move forward at this time. And also to give ourselves the gentleness and the self-care we need as we traverse these emotions and these feelings and these experiences of our life in general and our life in this experience that is taking place on this planet right now. And that we dedicate ourselves more and more in each moment to that which is true and right for us to move us through this field. So that we may be able to better serve others and take care of others in the way that is aligned. So thank you, everyone. It's grounding into the body, breathing into the body. And thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate all of you showing up and being present and sharing on all the levels that you share today. And may you go forth in your day with the harmony and love and peace and all that you are. And feel free to reach out to me through email, or if you know me and we text, you can text me too. So just feel free to reach out if you're any further support or want clarification around anything that we spoke about. So again, go forth in your day with peace and love and harmony, your mind, body, heart, and soul, and we'll be together again next Monday. And take good care of yourselves, please. That's what's very important right now, is to take good care of ourselves. So we'll be with you soon. Gratitude. Yes, thank you. Much gratitude for you.